Well, let's talk about our next match. This one went a little bit better, although it didn't look like it was going to go that way at first. Fraternity, which not exactly the greatest tournament pedigree, but they're not a bad team either. And they're quite a powerhouse alliance on TQ, so it was a big deal. We were both in the losers bracket, so we had both lost our first match of the tournament, and this was kind of a knockout round, do or die. And it didn't look like we were going to do for a little while there.
I will say that when I saw those 3 Navy Ospreys on grid, and I was in a bomber...
That's match 3.
Oh, was that Fancy Pants rather than Frat? Yeah.
It is, yep.
Yeah, I think Frat brought the Navy APOC EOS, not the kiting.
Yeah, so they brought a fairly kind of... it was kind of like a mix of an APOC for heavy DPS, with EOSs for with some DPS. They had a cruiser logistics in the background, Vexers and various other kind of small things. Again, this one started a bit rough for us because while we brought a comp itself that was good at one of our more experienced comps again and kind of had a good engagement profile, they just charged right into us, and I think we failed to screen and protect our Logi. So our Logi died first, and then the bomber, and then it really kind of settled down into a very tactical battle there of the control versus the damage.
Well, there was a discussion initially, a lot of forethought about what comp we should pick, and I'm pretty sure it's the Frat match. Was it the other one where I was like, you know what,
you made the call.
We practiced this the most. Let's go with this one. And the reasoning was I would be very upset at us. I would always wonder what if we had gone with another comp, because this was the one we had the most practice with and one of the highest success rates with. I kind of felt like it was our best comp. And if we didn't lead with our best comp on the elimination match, I would have always wondered what happened if we had. So I was like, let's just do it. This is the one that we know. We know it against a million different matchups. Let's just give it a go.
It was super interesting, the debate about which comp to bring that. And in the end, you just laid the law down and said, which one are we best with? And we're going with that.
Yeah, because you can't out metagame, especially at that level. Like, we only had so much information on Frat. We only had so much information about bans. Like, we could bring this, but they could counter with this. We could bring that, they could counter with that. And eventually, you just got to make a call. And I was like, if they bring 5 different things, we know what to do. So let's just go with this one. We actually know how to handle it. And I feel like it really helped us out because the opening of that match didn't really go very well. We lost our Logi almost immediately. The bomber went down. The curse went down. When the curse dropped, my heart sank. I was watching. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I was pretty sad. I died in the first 30 seconds, I think. We did a film review night after the match, and we had just watched, and they basically just rammed straight up the middle. And some of our screeners kind of got a little too far back behind our battleships and our main core. And so they were Frat was just able to get right on top of our Logi and just nuke, which was really unfortunate. But like you said, I died immediately, and then I was just sitting there in my pod, and I just zoomed out, and I was trying to do my best to give positional calls and stuff like that, because I was just watching and I couldn't do anything.
I think one of the interesting things is we'd had that happen in one of the scrims where we lost all the Logi super fast and still managed to pull back a win in the scrim. And I think the people who were part of that scrim also saw that you don't give up. You don't just think that we've lost the points, we've lost this. You keep fighting, and that's what we did.
I mean, the match was in. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Leif, please.
Yeah, no, I mean, the match was interesting, as I say, because they ran straight at the middle, got on top of our logistics. The bomber went down, and then they kind of went to work on other stuff. And the battle really kind of broke into almost 2 or 3 separate bits. The EOS and Vexer went to go and hunt down their logistics, which was far away. The Geddon slowly put itself between the two, as the NAPOC kind of just sat on top of Ovix and just traded laser fire with the Abaddon. And it was interesting because I'd been killed up by the bomber at this point, because 2 or 3 confessors and a load of Vexer drones came flying after me. I wasn't long for the world with no Logi. And it was just interesting to watch the kind of battle unfold in almost 3 different areas.
I thought it was interesting in that again, this is one of those scenarios where we weren't in comms together. The shadowing role was being filled by somebody else. So I was watching along with everybody else, and And as soon as the curse went down, I think my exact words were like, "Oh, we're fucked. We're so fucked." And then, things started to turn around, and I go back and I listen to the comms, and sure enough, it was just like, all right, that's down. Let's go to the next target. All the target calls were coming in, and we extended the match such that the lasers really so the newts really started to take their toll. I think that's the key element. The nuke pressure from the get-in was just wearing capacitors down, and we eventually started to get that control back. And we started to bring ships down, killing off their Logi, killing off the rest of their Vexers. And then, of course, the epic moment where, in an effort to escape the heavy neutralization of our Armageddon, their APOC Navy just it was flying directly away from it, but the positioning was such that he was flying right toward the boundary edge and right over it. He didn't stop himself in time. He was just trying to escape the newts, but he just couldn't without getting outside that range. So he went pop.
Finger of CCP took him down.
But I think the interesting thing is, and this wasn't clear from the analyst desk, but it is clear if you rewatch the match, even if it hadn't gone down, we would have still won on points.
Yeah, I mean that the Geddon's position basically put itself between the two. So in order for the Aneros to get into range, it burned straight into nuke range of the Geddon. So the Aneros died horribly. And as you say, the Geddon just bullied the NAPOC and sent it away. As you say, if Hema had died, all we needed to do was kill that small stuff and kept at least one of our Vexers up, along with the EOS and the Geddon, and we would win the match. Comms were excitable.
To say the least, yes.
Yeah, all the comms discipline went out the window as soon as that happened.
Yeah, I think it took 2 different times to calm people down. We were just ecstatic.
Probably more than that. It's actually pretty funny. You could hear, I think Ernhawk was still on grid in a Vexer, and you could hear him kind of laughing. He's like, "Okay, guys, calm down. We still have a minute left or whatever."
Yeah, I think I had to tell people 10 seconds. Everyone just shut up. The comms were just dead for 10 seconds.
The best quote is, "Where did the Navy APOC go?"
I was watching at the time, and I saw him turn into a pumpkin.